Welcome to The Voiceover with your host, D. Foster III, where we discuss relevant topics that affect the culture with bold, independent commentary. Get ready to be inspired, enlightened, and encouraged.
It's Friday, and it's time for the Voiceover Net podcast. I'm your host, D. Foster III, CEO and President of Wake Up Global Networks International. You know the Listen. Some like it hot, some like it cold, but today we like it straight, no chaser. I got convo, I got content, but you know what you got to do. You got to like, you got to subscribe, you got to share, you got to hit that notification bell, you got to press the like. As a matter of fact, it's Friday. Put the link of this content into your address, into your links. Send it to your friends. You're going to want to hear this, especially regarding social media, YouTube. I'm telling you, I got it. I've been sitting on it, and now I can't hold it. I got it, and I can't keep it to myself. We want to say at the beginning of the show, thank you so much for your viewers. Thank you so much for those of you who have been faithful and consistent following this platform. We try to give you educational, entertaining, and enlightening content each and every week. Shout out to April J., CEO and owner of this platform. Thank you for giving us a voice. Thank you for allowing our opinion to go across the ethers so that people can be awakened. I want to say thank you. If you want more information, go to our website to find out who we are, www.wakeupglobalnetworks.com. www.wakeupglobalnetworks.com. Follow us on all of our social media, on our TikTok. Follow me on my social media, DJ Change 111, DJ Change 111. That's my IG and my X. I am excited. Wait. Before I get into this content, I'm giving some of you time to get on because today, I'm telling you, no holds barred. I've been sitting on this. I've been alluding this for a while on this podcast, but today I'm going all 4 cylinders. I'll tell you what it is in just a few minutes, but have you seen the Voice of Hope Connection? I want to say shout out to Miss V. We did something very unique last week with the Voice of Hope Connection. We were out in nature, but you can catch it every Sunday morning at 7 right here on this platform. It's an inspirational word to help take you through the week. The Voice of Hope Connection every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. I hope you had a fantastic week. I hope you're looking forward to an enjoyable weekend. Right here in the DMV, it's been a lot of rain, but it's supposed to be a nice Memorial Day weekend, so enjoy it. But I got some content to get into. I want you to like this. I want you to subscribe. I want you to share. I'm a slow walk this. Y'all know I'm not going to be long, but I got to set the premise for this. Now, let me say this without a doubt. Share this, like this, follow us. I want to say thank you to all of our viewers. Thank you for those of you who are faithful, for those of you who comment, for those of you who encourage us. I want to hear from you. The email address is thevoiceovertheglobe@gmail.com. Thevoiceovertheglobe@gmail.com. Now, where do I start? I got so much. Now, first of all, let me say this. I am not on this particular show going to get into the spiritual ramifications of today's subject. I'm going to kind of deal with the cultural and the legal aspect of today's topic. But believe me, for all of the spiritualites, in due time, I will take a deep dive into the spiritual aspects of today's topic. Now, I couldn't decide what to call today's topic, but I want to call it Caught in Your Own Clickbait. Now, you may say, what you talking about, D. Foster? Is this relevant? Absolutely, positively. And it's a lesson, not only for those on social media, but it's a lesson for all of us in general. I was going to call this, Watch Your Mouth. I was going to call this, It's Time to Get a Job. I was going to call this a lot of things. But because it has to do with clickbait, I want to call it Caught in Your Own clickbait. Now, let me start off by telling the story. When I was in high school, and when I was in school in general, especially in college, it was a known no-no to do something called plagiarize. Plagiarism is when you take, watch this, somebody else's information and you write it as if it is your own information. So we used to have to do references, and we used to have to prove in our essays certain statements. You remember that you made. So if you made a quote, if you made a strong fact, then at the beginning of the essay, follow me, you had a list of references where the reader of the essay could go back and locate your information as, here's a word, accurate. Share this. Accurate, because this even deals with a lot of ministers and public speakers. Accurate. So you couldn't just say whatever you wanted to say in your essay without providing evidence, without providing proof. And if you did, it was, in matter of fact, it's a law, plagiarism. And when I went to college, it even got more serious. And in our political science class in HU, Howard, the instructor made it very, very clear, which I understood some from high school, but it got more serious when I got up in college, that if you are caught plagiarizing, in other words, dispensing knowledge, dispensing information, making quotes without giving the original owner of that credit in your paper, you could not only fail the class, but be expelled. Because you can't take other people's information that have done the work, that have done the homework, that have put in the time. You say, where you going, D. Foster? Wait a minute, I'm going somewhere. I got to set it up. Because this ain't about clickbait. My show has never been about clickbait, and that's what I'm going to get into. It's never been about being salacious. It's about information, facts, entertainment, enlightenment, education. So anyway, back on the ranch. Who said that? Let me give them credit. I don't know, was it Mr. Rogers? But anyway, so you could get expelled because it is unethical. Now I'm coming close. It is unethical to take facts and take information and run with it without some kind of substantiation, or in today's language, without proper receipts. Without proper receipts. Now, clickbait. You got caught in your own click. Okay, so y'all understand that, right? Keep that. I'm going somewhere. Y'all know me. I'm going somewhere. I'm here not just to talk. I'm here to educate. I'm here to enlighten. I'm here to shed light, right? So another story is when I was growing up, I went fishing. So there was something called crab pot. So every now and then we were trying to catch crabs, depending on the time of year, blue crabs in the Chesapeake Bay. So you drop something called a crab pot. Crab pot sits at the bottom of the ocean, and you put bait that it draws crabs into, back then, this big metal cage, almost like a doll cage, but it wasn't as big, right? But every now and then, when we were crabbing and fishing, that's why my uncle liked to separate them, because of the difficulties that I'm about to explain to you. When we were crabbing and fishing, sometimes we got caught up in our own crab pot. And the pot that we sat down to catch the crabs got hooked up with our fishing rod, fishing line. So we had to pull the crab pot out of the water and untangle. Oh, it's a whole lot of miserable work, right? So we got caught, not the crab. Follow me. Some of y'all, you're brilliant. You're brilliant. We got caught in our own crab pot. Click bait. Now, here it is. You hear? I use those examples for a reason. Because they set the premise for the content that I am creating for this show. You all been hearing me, if you've been following me for any length of time, often, I won't say criticize, but maybe it is criticism, of this new YouTube phenomenon called reaction videos. Now, let me give you a history of YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google. YouTube has been around for about 10 years or so, give or take, right? But most people toyed around with YouTube until the pandemic. When the pandemic and people couldn't go out, YouTube and YouTube creators exploded. Everything had to be done by Zoom and YouTube. I mean, real live stream like this came alive, and people couldn't work, people were at home, people were bored, so everybody became a YouTuber. I did not say everybody became a content creator. I said a lot of people became a YouTuber. What? Or a TikToker. But I'm not dealing with TikTok right now. I'm dealing with YouTube. A YouTuber. Now, to me, this posed a big problem. Now, I don't mind if you get on YouTube because YouTube is you. It's a platform. I love the platform. Though over the years, Google has come under restriction, and I'm going to talk about that. You said, but D. Foster, how is this relevant? I'm telling you, hold on. Because what I'm about to say is only about to get bigger as time goes on. And I've been talking to our Wake Up Tribe about the shift in social media, and you got to be careful what you say out your mouth before you get caught in your own clickbait. Okay, I just gave you a little so you can stay tuned. So how this is relevant. So YouTube became very popular during the pandemic. Everybody was on YouTube because people were bored and people got on TikTok. That's when TikTok came alive and YouTube. But Google owns YouTube. And it was around that time or after the 2016 presidential election, a couple of years after, when Google came under scrutiny for some alleged unethical practices. And Mark Zuckerberg, the owner, the CEO of Google and all of that, he's the big boss in Google, was summoned to Capitol Hill to testify that they didn't mess with the algorithms and they didn't give out false information. So over the years, Google has been under scrutiny, and there has been a change in social media, right? I'm going somewhere. But during the pandemic, everybody became a lot of people became a YouTuber. Now, I've always said, even when I say about this platform and other platforms that I have been on, please consider these platforms. And what do I always say as a disclaimer? If you have a message. I always say that. I don't say just get on radio. I don't say just get on YouTube. I don't say just come on this platform, WPB. I said, if you have a message, consider these platforms. Share this, like this. And the reason I said that is because I believe media, one of the most powerful entities of our times, it's the mover, it's the shaper, it's the shaker, is so influential that there must be a universal, educational, entertaining, yes, let's have fun, message. Oh no, that's not what happened during 2019 with YouTube. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. That ain't what happened. What happened was people found out that YouTube could be monetized. Uh-oh. I'm telling you, if you got a strong drink, drink it. Because I'm going for the juggler. And leave your comments. Because this is the way I feel. This is what I have observed. YouTube could be monetized. I don't have to work. I can't work. I got laid off, which I understand. So I'm going to become a monetized YouTuber. Now, I didn't say content creator yet. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to now be fully employed through content on YouTube. Now, come on, let's talk, right? So, some of the ways that YouTubers, not me, right? I don't get a dime for this. So this is what I want you to know going in the door. So I have no motive. I don't get a dime for any of my content on platforms except Patreon, okay? And that's a whole different platform. But for this work that I do each and every week, bringing you original content, sacrificing time, I don't get a dime. So what I'm saying is non-biased and non-prejudicial. So a lot of people said, oh, I can go on YouTube, get monetized. All I gotta do is run some ads, right? I get it, because I run ads on my Sprinkles page. And get likes, get followers, have people subscribe. So if I get 100,000 followers, I get a YouTube plaque. I'm monetized. I'm official. You know how it's certified. But the problem is you have to be consistent in content in order to make real money. I mean, I remember 219, 220 hearing people making $6,000, $7,000 a month on YouTube. And I knew it wasn't gonna last. And I said, that's not gonna last. I mean, people are in the house. All they can do is watch YouTube. And once the pandemic is over, and once they lift this, and once we say goodbye to this, and once we get used of it, and people get back out, that is not sustainable. And it wasn't. At that time, everybody was glued to YouTube or to TikTok or to social media because we had nothing else to do. We couldn't go to work. We couldn't go to school. We couldn't go shopping. Everything was closed. Everything was online. So people were glued and people were pushing like, people were pushing share, people were pushing follow, people were subscribing, people were doing this, people were doing that. And all of a sudden, and the money was coming in. I know people that were making 10 grand. Can you imagine 10 grand a month? I wish I could make 10 grand a month sitting in front of my camera, and one day I will. Just sitting here giving content, as much content as I have. I know I could legally earn 10 grand a month if it was just like it used to be. Sitting with the kind of content and the kind of education and the kind of wisdom that I have, easily 10 grand. But there were people talking foolery, making 10 grand, 15 grand a month. And I said, it is not sustainable. Watch this. So they quit their jobs, short-sighted. And they became full-time YouTubers. And now, 2021, the pandemic is done. It's behind us. But I don't have a job. I still got mortgage. I still got rent. And what happened was, I'm telling a story on purpose. Unless you were picked up by major networks like Spotify, iHeart, which are some of the most thriving podcasts. Shout out to Joe Rogan, like The Breakfast Club, that are picked up and sponsored by major corporations. The average individual YouTuber, like myself, and I don't consider myself a YouTuber, I consider myself a content creator. I'm gonna get back to reaction videos in a minute. This may go into part 2 because you know I don't like to hold y'all long. Bam! What I said happened. It didn't last. So now, I'm out there. They're out there. I'm not saying everybody, but most, they're out there. They're out there without income like they were 2 years ago. Now it's $2,000 a month, from 8,000 to 2,000, because you know there's many followers, and there's more people on YouTube, and everybody is running the same story. You can't turn on YouTube now without a Diddy story. That's why I ain't even talked about Diddy. You can't turn on YouTube now without a Drake story. That's why I stopped. Because, and this is the problem, there is no originality anymore. And I've said this, and if you follow me, here I am. I've said, and I have criticized reaction videos, because reaction videos are not content. It is not your content. It's like a legal plagiarism. Okay, you give a shout out to the original YouTuber, you play their videos, you mention them, you say go to your channel, but it costs you nothing. All you do is set the story up, and I'm not apologizing this time. Set the story up, and then you just play on a another screen, the video that you're reacting to, when I simply can go to their video, cut out the middle person, save you the clicks, the likes, and the follows. You come in for legal reasons and comment every now and then, because you can only run another person's property but so long according to YouTube rules. So you come in, you got to make up a commentary, then you go back into the video, and you want people to follow you when, hey, common sense is, why do I have to follow you? You are not the brains of this story. The brains of the story is the person that you are reacting to. Let me go to their video to make sure you're leaving nothing out, right? So as a result of this whole YouTube phenomenon dying, what happened is that now YouTubers, in order to get the clickbait, to get the clicks and the likes and the follows, they've had to become salacious. They've had to make up stories. And now people, this is where I'm going today, are beginning to sue YouTubers, not content creators, YouTubers, because the press is on to keep the money. Almost sound like the church. The press, excuse me, did I say that? The press is on to keep the money coming in. So now people are doing these big exposing videos, exposing pastors, exposing leaders. And now these exposers, because they're becoming salacious and they're reacting to stuff they heard without evidence, without proof, some of them. They're being sued, and I say good, and it's time. It's time. If you are not a content creator, then maybe YouTube is not the place for you. And you know, if you've been following me, I've been criticizing, yes, reaction videos for a long time, because I felt it cheapens YouTube. And now people are making money on it. I ain't saying people weren't making money on it for now. But social media is changing. That's a whole nother story. And it's going to continue to change. And the money that used to be in social media, especially YouTube, is not going to be there in the next 2 years. I can tell you, I promise you that. So you better get a job or do something. Because this ain't cooking like it was 2019, 220. And so even like church, when something is dying, then you have to do something out of the box or what you think is original or something stupid to keep the attention. So now, because I am not a content creator, I need the money to still come in. I'm simply going to find salacious videos, run those screen to screen, and every now and then comment, but create nothing. When YouTube was created for content, those who did the work, those who put in the time, those who read, those who compared, those who were informed. You very seldom see that on YouTube anymore when it comes to cultural issues. You see everybody with the same opinion talking about the same thing. I wonder if you ask the average YouTuber to create an original story, do their own homework, do their own investigation, how many would be like, no, don't refer to nobody else's YouTube. Don't refer to nobody else's content. You dig up a story that nobody has heard of, nobody has thought of, and you come up with an intelligent reason. You come up with intelligent information, intelligent insight. Give us guidance, give us wisdom. Who does who does some of the best work in that to me is, and he does it in his own way, 50 Cent. 50 Cent is not a YouTuber. 50 Cent has the facts. 50 Cent digs up the information. 50 Cent has his opinion that does not ride on what everybody else's YouTube opinion is. I appreciate it. I've never seen him do stories, but he will react to what's going on in the culture, but not through videos, not through sitting on his channel and play. He will actually be bold enough to speak it and show the receipts and play the receipts and drop the receipts. I respect that more than somebody who just gets on and run another person's video and give them a shout out just so they won't get sued. But now what's happening is people are saying, okay, if you're going to be on YouTube and you're going to be guilty of defamation, this is what happened to Tasha K in this public record with Nicki Minaj. If you're going to be defamation because you're trying to get clicks and views, if you're going to be guilty of defamation, then we're going to take it one step further, and they should. Because what's defamation? Defamation is when you take false, unproven information and you speak it against somebody, and it affects their reputation, and more importantly, it affects their brand, and more importantly, it affects their finances. Now, if you are bold enough to do that, then you should be bold enough to be held accountable. You should be bold enough to be sued. You should be bold enough to be taken to court, and you should have to pay. Let me tell you the problem with a lot of these YouTubers. They say, sue me, sue me, sue me. You came on, sue me, sue me, sue me. I got the receipts. And when the lawsuit comes in, they come in crying, oh, we need your help. You know, this is a very expensive. I thought you said sue me, huh? Because you caught in your own click. You run your mouth. You're doing too much. Some things shouldn't even be discussed on social media, on the internet. And when you say stuff about people in general, but on the internet, you can never erase that. You can never, it's on there for infamy. So when we go to court, even if you erase it off your hard drive, they can go back in the cloud and dig up exactly what you say and sue you, and yes, you have to pay, and they will tie up your finance. And I feel bad. I want you to hear this record. Put this on for nobody who is being sued because of defamation of character. People's reputation earn them money. People's reputation represents their integrity. And how dare you, because you don't want to go out and get a job and you're interested in clicks and views, that you tear people's reputation. I don't give a damn whether it's true or not. Certain things are not to be resolved on social media. It didn't start on social media, so don't finish it on social media. And that's why I said I'm going to get into the spiritual ramifications of this at another time. And now people, and I'm so glad, are getting caught in their own clickbait. Because when you come, I'll never forget when I was working at Radio 1 with Jeff Majors. He was my program manager when I did gospel music on Monday through Friday. The first thing he said to me when I was in training, and I take it to this day, he said, he pointed to the mic when we were in the studio. He pointed, shout out to Jeff Majors. He pointed to the mic. And you know what he told me? He said, this will make your career or break your career. And I often say it when it comes to people in church. Some people, the mic is like a strong island. When they get behind it, they get drunk and they start saying crap that they don't mean to say, but because they have the attention of thousands, they just run off at the mouth. And some of the things, yeah, I told you this was going to be straight no chaser because I'm tired of it. I've been sitting on it. If you ain't a content creator, we don't want to, go play on TikTok. But YouTube, people are suing. Good. Because when you come with evidence against people's character or people's reputation, if you're not going to be biblical, and I'll deal with that and handle it biblically, but if you're going to handle it culturally, know what you are saying. And if it's not true, and this is what happened, a lot of people, and I've heard people admit it, yeah, I knew it wasn't true when they get to court. I said it for clickbait. Even titles for clickbait. It ain't really the information in the video. You just got clickbait. Because if people click on it, pushes you up in the algorithms, and then you can make more money. See, all of this is tied together. When you create simple, intelligent, entertaining content, people will follow you who love your content. You ain't gotta get clickbait. And I know a story now that I have refused to touch. I've alluded to. I haven't touched it. I haven't been led in my spirit to touch it, because I know it's so sensitive right now. But there's a prophet that has sued a pastor for getting on YouTube and airing out all of these accusations. I mean, horrible accusations. I don't know whether they're true or not, but they can all be true if the prophet is taking the pastor to court to sue him. And if these accusations, all of them are not true, he needs to be sued since you didn't handle your hurt biblically. Because I'm going to talk about all of these exposing. Who the hell left you in charge to expose when the Bible says, that's my servant. Don't judge another man's servant. I told you, I'm going to get into this crap. Because your exposures give you clickbait, but you're getting caught up in and like I said, if this is not true, if these accusations, or all of them is, some may be, some may not be, maybe 50-50, but whatever ain't, I hope you are sued, and I hope you have to pay to teach you and everybody else that you just cannot come on social media, cannot go on the internet, run your mouth because you are drunk with an interviewer. Because you are drunk, pee drunk with an interviewer, and you sitting there in the comfort of the studio saying, rummaging out all of this stuff, thinking you got away with it. And when you slap with a daggone lawsuit, you want to come back playing the victim. No, yo. Where's that in the game? Man up. Like you sat there and ran your mouth. You sit there and bite the suit. You go to court. You come up with your own money. It ain't our responsibility to help you raise money because you ran your mouth. Like this, share this, follow. I don't, leave the comment. And my prayer is, as I close, that these platforms, YouTube, now, yeah, we have fun on Instagram, we have fun on X. X has become political since Musport. I got an X account, but it's all political. It used to be fun, used to be talking about the game, used to be talking about sports. Now everything is political. Did you see what the president, did you see it? But Instagram is still fun. So yeah, we can have fun on Instagram. But when it comes to platform, even Facebook, you have fun. But when it comes to platforms like YouTube, if you don't have no content, why are you on it? Go have fun on TikTok. Bounce up and down. But because you don't want to get a job, player, because you deceive, player, you can't sit there. And I'm just talking about and run your mouth about nothing and think of the most salacious, made up, because a lot of this crap on YouTube, I be looking at it. And you can call it my discernment. I don't want to be deep. But half of this crap I do not believe. They get in these interviews and they tell these salacious stories. And I'm like, I ain't saying everybody. I'm like, because you need the clicks and the views. You need the subscribers for the money. But the money ain't happening on YouTube like that no more. It may be time for you to get other meaningful, gainful streams of revenue. Because what's about to happen is people going to get tired of being defamed. And lawyers now, like, you have accident lawyers. I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm trying to help you. Like you have accident lawyers, you're going to have YouTube lawyers who sit around and wait because it's becoming big now. I mean, everybody getting sued, running their mouth. And I think what broke that is when Tasha K, a couple of years ago, got sued by Nicki Minaj for saying some stuff that wasn't true. And that suit went viral. We know in the church, Bishop Jakes is involved. Got a suit going on, somebody defaming him. People ain't doing that no more. And most people are doing that because they need the views to keep the money coming in. I say, you're going to end up getting caught in your own clickbait. So either take the time to create decent content or get off. Because people ain't about to sit around no more and let you destroy their income, destroy their integrity, destroy their character, because you need a freaking clickbait, because you need likes, because you want to sound salacious, because you don't even investigate what you're reacting to. You just play the video and respond and take a side. And now those people are being included in suits too. Good. Because sometimes, instead of trying to get a salacious interview, mind your business and create your own content. See, if you real, that's why I can have a guest, or I can't have a guest. Because I can go my own. Oh God, I gotta go. How many of these people out here can hold their own with a subject, with knowledge, intelligence, information, education, entertainment, and wisdom, without including another person's video or having a guest? For years and years and years and years. My big brother, Coach James Butch McAdams, which we're coming up on a year of his transition, he'd be like, I don't need no guest. I can have a guest, but I can hold my own show. That's the way I feel. For years, people didn't have guests. They talked 4 hours on just pure content, not trying to be select, given the facts. But one thing you have to put in, and that's what also Jeff Majors told me. Shout out to Jeff Majors. He said, show prep. The problem is, don't nobody want to prep for their show. They want to come on every day. How do you come on YouTube every day? Anyway, when do you have time to get the content, or do you just fish through YouTube, get a video, listen to it, take 30 minutes, 60 minutes, listen to it, and then do a reaction video. I'm going to hit this hard. I'm glad they're getting sued. Let it go down. I hope they get sued. And I hope they're made to pay by the judge, because it'll teach you a lesson. Keep your mouth shut off the internet. If you got a beef, handle it somewhere other than the internet, unless it started on the internet. Get sued. It'll teach you a lesson. And I'm telling you, it's going to only grow. And I got more, but I got to go. I got to let you go. Y'all know I'm very time restricted because I know your time span. Share this, like this, follow this. Caught in your own clickbait. That's not a good look. Then when you get sued, you have no more integrity. People half listen to you because they know you make ish up. You make ish up. You talk about stuff to get the views, but there's no integrity. Not everybody in what you talk about. And some people get sued and they've done no wrong. It's just people are sue happy today. That's why you have to be very careful. And the internet never goes away. Don't forget, like, share. I want to hear from you. I know this was a hot topic. The voice, even if you're not in YouTube or social media, this is a lesson. The voice of the globe at gmail.com. The voice of the globe at gmail. That's why before you repeat what you hear, you got to make sure it's facts, because you become suable. You become liable. Even though you didn't make it up, you repeated it. Go make sure it's facts. The day is over where people going to let you throw out stuff about them and they sit around, player. It ain't happening no more. And I'm glad. And you got lawyers and you have legal people waiting for people to come with defamation lawsuits. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Don't forget Sunday morning, 7 o'clock, the Voice of Hope Connection. There's a word to get you through the week. I'm D Foster 3, and until next week, you don't know what's going to happen next week. We got original content. This is D Foster 3 reminding you, you have a voice. Keep lifting it. Peace.
Thank you for being a part of The Voiceover. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms to stay connected to our upcoming shows and guests. Instagram at The Voiceover Radio. Twitter at DPropheticI. That's the letter D, prophetic, EYE. If this show has enriched you in any way, please share The Voiceover among your circle. Until next time, keep allowing your voice to be heard.